Hi, my name is Jasmine Spivey, and this is a video on my self-portrait. Okay, so my first one is about my childhood. I drew pictures of dirt, like little dirt mountains, and I drew those pictures because I'll say when I was 12, so in 6th grade, I started having a craving for dirt. I don't know where it came from. It literally came out of nowhere. And one day I was like curious, like I was like, I really like the smell, so I decided that I would go into my parents' backyard while my little sisters were playing, and I decided to go out and try some. And I ended up liking it, and I kept doing it. When I kept doing it, I did not want to stop. It felt weird. I don't know why I did it, so I kept it from my parents. I hid it from everyone in the family. I caused my parents damage trying to just throw it down the drains because I would chew it. I wouldn't swallow it. So when I would chew it, I'll spit it back out into their drains, such as either the tub or the sink. It became a real big problem. My parents didn't know about me eating dirt until I was in middle school, when my little sister told my parents about it. And my mom's like, why do you do it? And I told her, I honestly have no clue why I do what I do. And so there's times they tried to stop me, they got mad, they'll tell me I was gonna get in trouble, like certain things that they'll say to make sure I don't go back outside and go get the dirt. Nothing really stopped me because every time I stopped, I tried to stop myself, I got real irritable. Like I would get so upset. I wouldn't want to do anything. Like I would just want to sleep all day. I'll just be mad at the world, and I hated that. So I just kept going back outside to get dirt. Well, by the time I got to my high school days, my dad told me like he found out that the holes in the backyard were coming from me and not the dog. And so he said I couldn't go back into the backyard no more. So what I did was I ended up going to a field. I ended up going to a field that was across the street from our house because we lived in a desert. And I started to get it from there. And then my dad was like, I don't want you eating dirt in our house no more. And I looked at him like my world was going to just crumble because I got so used to doing it every single day since I was like 12. And now I was like 14, 15 years old. And I just kept doing it. So time goes by and I'm 16 and I'm very depressed. I tried to commit suicide. And that's when we found out what I had and what was wrong with me. Because my parents never went to go get me tested, never went to go take me to a psychologist, see what's wrong with me, nothing of the sort. So they ended up finding out, like, I had the drugs in my system from trying to commit the suicide. Plus, I had something that's called pica. Pica is when you consume non-edible objects because you're low on something, such as calcium, zinc, or iron. Well, I was very iron deficient. I was low on blood. They said my iron level was a 6, and they said I should have been passed out or been feeling woozy. Well, I was always sleepy. I was always tired. I never wanted to do nothing. And I'll stay up all night and then just go to sleep all day. And it wasn't normal. So we had to find out what it was. And that's when my dad would be like, well, maybe I should find like clays or something that's clean to eat on, like something that's not going to ruin my system as bad as dirt. And I really didn't listen. So I'm like, I don't have money for that. I am a child. So I kept doing it, never stopped. I still do it till this day, just not as much as I did as a child. I take my iron pills, but I mean, like I said, since I've been doing it so long, it just became a habit. And I actually now I actually like just sell it. Like I actually sell it and I make clay out of it. And I sell it to, instead of me eating it, I learned how to turn dirt into clay and turn it to a profit. So now I don't do it as much because I'm worried about making the money off of it instead of me chewing on it. So it's really been helping me. Next we have my adulthood. So when I was 20 years old, I was living with my then boyfriend, and I had found out that I was pregnant. And I didn't know what I was going to. I had no car. I had no no nothing. Like I had nothing, no job. So I moved back in with my parents. My parents asked me what I was gonna do. I ended up getting up to get a job. I got my job, started focusing on what am I gonna do. Well, the job I had at the time knew I was pregnant. Since they knew I was pregnant, I told them I have to go to the doctor's appointment, and they said due to me being in my 90-day probation, I can't. But since I was pregnant, that's pretty much telling me that they did not care that I was pregnant. They're telling a disabled person you don't care that they're disabled. And so I told them I'm not coming to work because I have a doctor's appointment that I have to go to. Well, they fired me, and with them and them firing me, I decided to go and do the process of suing them. Since I sued them, I won $10,000 from it. That $10,000 was able to make me get a car and get my own apartment, and I was able to move on with my life because that was not going to stop me. And I went back to work, and then I had a beautiful baby boy. His name is O'Shea. It's my middle name, and it's his dad's middle name. Next is my education. So for my education, it was very rocky. I was all over the place. When I found out that I couldn't go to my dream school in North Carolina, I decided that I don't want to go to school anymore. So while in high school, everyone found out that they're going to their dream schools. Me, I didn't care no more. And so the counselors and my mom was like, well, you're just going to be working a 9 to 5. And I said, I don't want to work a 9 to 5 all my life. Everyone was applying for Cal State, and my counselors were pushing me to apply for San Bernardino Valley College. So that's what I ended up doing, was applying for San Bernardino Valley College instead of Cal State. So me doing that, I feel like put me on a lower pedestal because I knew that my mindset was higher than what it already was. And I knew I was smart enough to actually go to Cal State. So when I went to talk to a counselor before I went to Valley, they set me up for real estate classes because I told them, I want to be a real estate agent. Because my dream was being a real estate agent, a history professor, an FBI agent, and a child psychologist. Well, all those things, I ended up not wanting to do any of those things. And then I decided that I wanted to do law school instead. So instead I decided that I wanted to be in family law so I could help kids, help them get out of the system, help them get into better homes. I wanted to see about helping people, getting the government to push to check into foster care homes and the group homes, because there's so many boys and girls that are getting touched on and no one's listening to them, no one's speaking up for them. Everyone's just throwing it under the rug because this is a big system. This is huge. No one's talking about that. No one's talking about how these kids are coming out of these homes and going into a different foster home after foster home because they're not mentally capable anymore because now they're scared because of what their past foster parents did. And I want to help these kids get into something very good. I want to actually open up my own group home on top of open up my own law firm. My next one is family. The family one. And this one was very hard for me to even write about because it was last year and I had got into a huge fight with my dad. Actually with both my dad, my mom, and my eldest sister. We got into this huge fight because we had a family meeting, and during the family meeting I was told that we're allowed to speak our truth. We could say anything we want. I spoke my truth and it pretty much bit me in the butt. They took my words and twisted them, and my dad told me he pretty much didn't care what I had to say. And it led into a screaming match between me and him, which led to me being attacked by my mom, my sister. And then once my sister attacked me, I drew the line and I called the police. Once I called the police, by the time my dad came to try to attack me, the police was already there. They showed up. My dad's still yelling, get out of my house, get out of my house. I eventually got out of his house and I moved back in with my boyfriend and his family to get me and my son a better life. And then my last one is future. So for my future, this is very long term. I want to have build my own house. I don't want to buy a home. I want to build a home because I want my home to have a private backyard. I want my home to have certain amenities that I always wanted growing up. I want a big 2-story home, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. Nothing too crazy. And then I want a pool in the backyard. I want your regular old family home. Plus, I want to be able to build my business up. The business I have now, selling clays, I wanted to skyrocket to the top because I've been working on this business since 2018, and now I wanted to go all the way up. I bought so many supplies and everything to build my business up, and now I'm finally here to where I want to build my business up. But yeah, that is my self-portrait. My name is Jasmine Spivey. Thank you for listening.